Hey guys, Dan with Pain For You, painforyou.com, Pain For You Facebook group, Pain For You YouTube channel. Today's topic is going to be about TMS, distraction pain, divergent pain syndrome, mind-body syndrome, psychophysiological pain disorder. They're all the same words for stress illness and stress-induced pains and symptoms and discomforts. So we all know about that. If you're on my channel here or my Facebook group, you know enough about Sarno and TMS to understand what's going on. So the question for you and the topic for today is, are you now afraid of your TMS? Are you afraid of this stress illness? So we used to be afraid of our emotions. So we would resist them, we would repress them, we would sometimes cling to them, we would not resolve our emotions because there was some judgment surrounding them. And so that created these symptoms, and now, the symptoms are what we started to focus on. We've become afraid of our bodies and our symptoms, but when you really realize, well, it's all TMS. In some cases, I see many folks becoming afraid of TMS. Well, I know it's TMS, but I'm still afraid of it. So what I'm encouraging you to do is to stay rational, right? That's the fear-based brain that's screaming, oh my God, now I've got this thing called TMS. I almost would prefer to have something real wrong so I could go get surgery and then I would get fixed, because this TMS stuff is complicated and it's scary and I really don't want to feel these emotions, and oh no, now I hate this thing called TMS. Well, I did put together a video a while ago that was called TMS is the best news ever, and I had some people probably want to throw darts at me for that, but really, if you're afraid of this thing called TMS, if you're afraid of this mind-body syndrome, if you are now afraid that if I think wrong or if I don't do this process perfectly, I'm never going to get rid of it. And look, if you're going to believe some of the things that are said in some of the other TMS groups, that this is a lifelong struggle and you're always going to have to do this horrible, nasty, unpleasant, emotional work and journaling and feeling thing, look, you can create TMS as a monster. You can turn TMS into a beast, something you are deathly afraid of. But if you're doing that, you're still distracted. A couple of days ago I did the Are You Distracted? Or Is the Distraction Working video. So if you have taken your fear of the emotions and your resistance to the emotions and turned it into this fear of TMS, which is nothing more than a benign, non-harmful set of symptoms and discomfort in whatever systems in your body are not working right. If you have taken the fear of those emotions and turned it into this fear of this thing called TMS, you're still distracted. And I will encourage you to look at TMS as the best news ever, because TMS basically means your body is fine. It really does. I know it's hard to believe because we are so uncomfortable. But again, I talk about it in other videos. Safety versus comfort. You are massively uncomfortable, but you're still safe. TMS is not dangerous. And I know there's going to be one or two people that say, but this one thing, this reflux, could cause problems. It's still caused by a benign process. And if you recognize, for those of you with reflux, if you recognize that stress suppresses the autoimmune and digestive systems, ding, 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 digestive systems, and causes them to not function properly, you're worried about an outcome that is controllable through how you go through life and how much you stress. And if you are stressing about a stress illness like reflux because you're stressed that it might cause a long-term problem, you're throwing fuel on the fire and then wondering why it won't go out. And I know It's one of these, you know, cart before the horse things, or the horse before the cart, or the chicken egg thing. What's first? If you have one of these symptoms like reflux, where you are concerned about the stomach acid damaging your esophageal lining, just recognize the answer is the TMS work, the mind-body work. The answer is to turn off the fight or flight response. The answer is to trust your body, that it knows what to do when you get out of its way. Stressing out about a stress illness will not help you. So, are you afraid of TMS? Have you created TMS as this monster? I've been journaling for 6 months, 6 years. I've never gotten out of it. I've heard about Sarno forever. Guess what, guys? That's me. I knew about Sarno for 12 years before I finally got rid of my symptoms. And in these videos, I am sharing with you exactly what I have learned that allowed me to beat it. So you don't have to take 12 years to get rid of your symptoms. You can take the concepts which I'm teaching, knowledge, assessment, and thereby the acceptance that you have TMS, the emotional discovery work, and then the mindset. You can take those 4 major pillars, apply them, lose the fear, know that you're well. It's just TMS. Thank God we're not actually broken. And you can get better in days or weeks. And I've seen people that when they really get to the point where they're going, I'm not broken. I am really not in danger. TMS is not this awful beast. I just got to get a couple of core concepts down and let go of the desire, not the desire, but the desperation to heal, and let go of this constant focus on the symptoms, and just know I'm well and trust my body to do what it's supposed to do. Turn off the stress response. I can do this. You can do this. It's not going to take you 12 years like it did me. I had a year of pain before I found Sarno, 12 years afterwards. And look, there are so many resources out there that are amazing. The TMS Wiki did not exist. The PPD Association did not exist. There were not dozens of experts in the TMS world sharing their information and knowledge. There were not coaches and psychologists all over the world when I was going through this. You know, I was going through this. Yeah, the internet existed, but I was going through this before Facebook became a big thing. Before YouTube became a big thing. I was going on bulletin boards. You remember those things? You know? So look, you've got so many resources. Please, please, please do not decide that TMS is this monstrous, horrible thing that you now should be afraid of. You shouldn't be. Again, TMS is the best news ever. And that by just really allowing yourself to accept some basic concepts, emotional discovery, and losing the fear and getting the mindset right, and shifting your focus away from the symptoms and onto your emotional discovery process, and then onto gratitude and soothing yourself, and as much as you can going about with your life. And I know there's lots of people who say, how am I supposed to do that when it hurts? How am I supposed to enjoy, for one example, playing the piano if I can't sit? Okay, I get it. Do what you can. There are things you can do. Maybe right now the symptoms are so strong that you can't do the one thing you would love to do the most. Doesn't mean you won't get there. Look, guys, TMS is not a life sentence. TMS is the best news ever. TMS, knowing about this and learning about it, is a gift. And I know people will say, shut up, it's not a gift. It's a curse. Well, it's a gift. I know so much more about myself. I am allowing myself to feel emotions and releasing them. I'm not carrying around that reservoir of rage from yesterday's video. I'm not bottling it up and building it up to the point where I want to explode. Right? TMS is a gift. TMS is the best news ever. TMS is not a life sentence of misery. And as I talked about a few videos ago, you don't have to have a daily practice forever. You just have to have a daily practice long enough, in my opinion, to teach yourself that emotions are safe. You know, if you can get to the point where you become the person who allows yourself to feel these emotions in real time as they're happening, feel them, let them pass, stop creating that dam that builds up the reservoir of rage, become that person, and get to the point where I am, that I have absolutely zero fear on a daily basis of getting back into a chronic pain situation. Look, do I have symptoms once in a while? Yeah, I'll wake up with a little twinge, but you know what my brain says? Whatever, no big deal. What's going on emotionally? Check, 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 got it. And then I move about my day, and I forget about this little twinge, and before I know it, it's not even there anymore. I don't hurt anymore. I've got zero fear of chronic pain because I've got the recipe. The recipe is learn to feel your emotions, get your mindset right, and don't get so worried about a minor twinge somewhere. Don't let a little new symptom freak you the heck out. Look, if it's concerning, go get checked out by the doctor. Rule out anything life-threatening. Rule out infections, that can be problematic. If you fell, rule out fractures. And if there's nothing significant medically, go on with your life. Anyway, so if you're now afraid of TMS and you've replaced your fear of the emotions with this fear of TMS, and if you say to yourself, I almost wish it were physical so the doctors could fix me. First of all, most of these things don't happen from physical causes. There's a small percentage that might, but very, 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 very few. And the doctor's success record is pretty abysmal. They really don't know how to fix chronic pain or chronic illness very well at all. So you're on the right track. TMS is a blessing. It's a gift. We get to become a version 2.0 of ourselves. We get to learn so much about ourselves and how to navigate the world and how to treat ourselves with more compassion and kindness and self-love instead of self-criticism and self-hatred. We allow ourselves to unload these emotions that we don't want to carry around anymore. So what do you guys think? Are you afraid of your TMS? Have you convinced yourself that TMS is this scary thing and now I can't feel something the wrong way or not feel something the wrong way, or I can't go to work because that'll stress me out, and now we're afraid of being stressed because that'll create pain? Look, what we expect, we get. Expect that you can go through life and run into stress and feel the stress and feel the emotions, and you'll still be fine. The belief that you can't get stressed out anymore, the belief that you can't experience a negative emotion without sending off a flare-up of pain is part of the problem, because that's your belief system and that's your expectation. And unfortunately, what we expect, we get. What if you started to replace the expectation of pain with an expectation of skating right through it without a problem? That's the way I look at things. I know I can get into a very stressful situation, whether it be a business, whether it be a personal thing, a family member, or whatever, relationship member. I know I can get through that without hurting. You can too. And look, maybe that's not been your past experience. Maybe you have had cases where, now that you know about TMS, you almost go into a family environment. Thanksgiving just passed here in the United States, and I know a lot of people dread these family gatherings because they're very triggering events. And people in our family say stupid things, and so we get triggered and we get upset. And we convince ourselves on the drive over that this is going to suck and I'm going to hurt and my pain's going to flare. But what if you convince yourself that, yeah, I might get pissed off, but I'm not going to hurt because there's no reason to. I'm going to feel the emotions, I'm going to allow them to pass and know that my body's fine. So don't create this fear of TMS. Don't create this fear of emotions. Don't create this fear of stress. Because once you get through this process, you're going to realize that TMS is benign. It's not dangerous. And it was really there to teach us a lesson of how to go through life in a more I wouldn't say positive way, but more normal, more healthy way. Feel the negative stuff, feel the positive stuff. Know that emotions are just emotions and that you're okay either way. And if you're sad today, stop resisting it. Stop convincing yourself that sadness equals lifelong depression. It doesn't. It just means you're sad today. Don't get stuck in that story. Anyway, so if you're afraid of TMS, I just wanted to talk about that concept because TMS is, in my opinion, not something I fear at all. And I would encourage you to question your fear of TMS because I would much rather have TMS and benefit by the lessons I've learned about myself and the way I navigate the world than know that my body was breaking down and need some doctor to come chisel or drill or inject or surgery my way out of it. I'd much rather know that I am strong and capable to deal with these emotions because the emotions aren't dangerous in the first place. It's the belief that they are and the avoidance of them that caused all the trouble. So, what do you guys think? Are you afraid of TMS? And if so, what can you do to reframe it to know that, in the end, TMS is great news. TMS is your friend, and you're going to learn so much about yourself as you go through this process and get better. So, love you. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.